Hello, fellow veterans. My name is Chuck Smith. I wrote a small testimonial. I just want you to know I've never written anything in my life, but I wrote this with the tools that I learned here at the Waco Blind Rehab Center. I encourage you to come. Don't shut the door on continuing learning. Education technology changes every day. You'll get everything you need by coming here.
The following is a testimonial from Chuck Smith, Marine Corps veteran, and an honor graduate of the Waco VA, Blind Rehab Center. Let me start by introducing myself. My name's Chuck Smith. I know, that's a pretty ordinary name. But, actually, my name fits me because I'm just an ordinary guy. I want to take a few minutes to share with you my experiences at the Doris Miller VA Blind Rehabilitation Center, located in Waco, Texas. I hope that my words help relieve any anxiety you might be feeling as you consider taking the plunge and giving the Blind Rehab Center a chance to change your life. I'm a Marine Corps veteran who lost all of my sight in 2008. When I first lost my sight, I wasn't sure if I'd even be able to feed or bathe myself, and I didn't know how I was going to get around. My next thought was wondering how I was going to take care of myself, and not be a burden on everyone around me. I want to let you know up front that everyone at the Blind Rehab Center values your military service, and they want nothing more than for you to learn what's important to you. In my case, I want to learn what's going to help me in my life and not suffer through some scripted program. The instructors at Blind Rehab don't have a set curriculum. They find out what you want, what you need, and they help you set learning goals. Lessons are planned with your goals in mind. Although you and I share the common experience of serving in the military, we're all vastly different, and it's our differences that make us so great. When I first arrived at the Blind Rehab unit, a 90-year-old veteran took me aside and said, "Chuck, just make it your program. This is the single greatest advice that I can pass on, and it's so true. Just make it your program." The instructors are dedicated and very knowledgeable, but you have to figure out for yourself what's going to work best for you, and then advocate for yourself and relay that to your instructors. This is easier said than done because you may not have put a lot of thought into what exactly you want to learn, because if you're anything like me, you don't know what you don't know. In other words, you don't know what's out there. I promise you. Your instructors and you, working as a team, will figure this all out. At this point in the program, you're just getting started, and remember, just take baby steps and be proud of yourself for just taking on this challenge. You can learn a lot from your fellow veterans who are there with you. Some of them you meet will become lifelong friends that you'll keep in contact with. Keep in mind that we're all in this together. One misconception I had on my first admission to Blind Rehab was that everyone else would be totally blind like me, but a lot of the veterans there still had a little vision. This is embarrassing to admit, but it's true. I thought everyone would be totally blind like me. I quickly found out that you can learn a lot from the veterans who've been blind for a while, and from those veterans who've previously been through a blind rehab program. Remember that this is a program that you can go through as many times as you want. Since you can return to blind rehab repeatedly, you don't have to feel that you have to learn everything at once. Looking back, I think I've been to the Waco Blind Rehab Center at least 8 times over the last 12 years. The first couple of times that I went, I realize now that I didn't really apply myself like I should have. I was just trying to figure out how to get around and navigate my room, get to the dining area, and find my classes. I guess I felt like I didn't want to embarrass myself. I realize now that there was no reason to worry about what people thought because I was a grown man that needed help, and everyone there was going through the same issues that I was going through. Now let's talk about getting some of your independence back. At first, I didn't have the confidence to try all the new things I was learning. My advice is, don't worry. Just keep focusing on how you're going to apply what you're learning to your life. Remember, in dealing with blindness, you're probably not where you want to be, but make sure you're not where you were yesterday. My accomplishments, no matter how small, meant the world to me. An example of this for me was the fact that I just wanted to find my way to the dining hall and back to my room. This might seem trivial to anyone else, but at the time, it was a huge deal to me. Eventually, in no time at all, I found myself actually guiding other veterans around the center. I'd have never imagined this. These are the little things that I'm emphasizing to you that become so important in building your confidence and gaining back your independence. Use the time at the Blind Rehab Center as a chance to really find yourself. What I mean is, find out what really brings you joy. One of the things that really brought me a sense of satisfaction was accomplishing little things at Blind Rehab. When I first arrived at the Waco Blind Rehab Center, I kept running into people who were like me, but they didn't seem like me at all because they had great attitudes and were getting around great. I kept hearing them talk about all the cool things they were learning, and I thought to myself, these people aren't real because I could never see myself even attempting those things. At that time, I didn't possess the confidence that I needed to get my independence back. This isn't an exaggeration when I tell you that I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I surprised myself every day, and that's what kept me going. I thought to myself that maybe all these blind people aren't superhuman after all, and that maybe I could start to do the same things that they were accomplishing. If you're already signed up to go to the Blind Rehab Center, or if you haven't quite decided, I want to let you know what to expect to get out of the experience. Once you're there, the nursing staff will help you get situated in your room and go over what time you eat and if you need assistance getting to the dining hall. You may be able to find your way around with your white cane, but, rest assured, if you need help in getting there and back, they're more than happy to guide you there until you figure it out. Then, the next day, after you get settled in, your team coordinator will go over your schedule and answer any questions you have. After that, they'll assess you to find out what areas in the program you might be interested in. My suggestion is to consider all of the options before you make a decision. For example, I thought that I wouldn't want to learn about the adaptive appliances they have for cooking, but after one session with the living skills instructor in the kitchen, I realized that it was pretty cool and that I could really benefit from learning to cook for myself. The living skills class teaches how to manage everyday activities in order to remain independent. Next, I'd like to tell you what to expect in O&M training. You'll hear the term O&M. It's okay. I didn't know what that stood for either. I just called it getting around. O&M is short for orientation and mobility. This instructional area is designed to train people who are blind and visually impaired to independently travel in a safe, efficient, effective, and confident manner in both familiar and unfamiliar environments. Your O&M training will be one-on-one with your instructor, and you'll have an opportunity to learn to travel safely, using your remaining vision or, if needed, a white cane. You'll learn to travel indoors and outdoors, in different environments like a store, a restaurant, neighborhoods, and downtown. If it's one of your goals, you'll even learn how to cross streets safely. Most veterans I know really enjoy their O&M training because they're getting their independence back, whether they realize it at the time or not. The next area I'll discuss is AT, or Assistive Technology. That may be something that sounds interesting to you, but, at first, I didn't want anything to do with technology. Before I lost my sight, I had no interest in computers or smartphones. It was something that I wasn't raised up with. Boy, did I change my mind quickly. Your instructors are going to go with what fits you. You may just want to know how to get your weather, or know what time it is, or how to work the television. Today's technology is fascinating, and if this is your main goal, then you're in the best place you could imagine. Just so you know, I wrote these words with the technology I learned through Blind Rehab. When I lost my sight, I'd never have imagined being able to send and read emails, write letters, or order things on the internet. I'll describe it like this. When you had your vision, the world was one big bubble. You could see the sun, the moon, and the stars, so you felt like these things were in your bubble, even if you could never actually touch them. After losing your vision, that bubble shrank to what feels like from fingertip to fingertip with your arms outstretched. So, at some point, I realized that, with the help of technology, I could bring back those things in my life even though I'd never physically touched them. We're so blessed to live in this age of technology, and I can't even imagine living in this world, being blind, 60 years ago, like Helen Keller. The point that I'm trying to make is, whether you realize it now or later, technology will open the door on your newly shrunken bubble. Another instructional area at the Blind Rehab Center is visual skills. In visual skills, if you still have usable vision, you'll learn to use your remaining vision efficiently, which might include learning visual techniques or training on adaptive equipment that might help you see better, such as magnifiers or electronic devices. Or if your vision loss is severe and you aren't able to complete tasks visually, you'll learn to use devices that'll actually read print for you. You'll be surprised at all the new technology out there that helps blind and visually impaired people access their world. Another class you can take is recreation therapy. There are a lot of activities in rec therapy that you can participate in, such as learning to play an instrument, walk on the treadmill, work out with power bands, or you may feel like just watching a show on the big screen. In other words, relax and enjoy yourself. In rec therapy, veterans are encouraged to continue to participate in leisure time activities in their home and community following their discharge from Blind Rehab. The last instructional area I'd like to talk to you about is manual skills. This instructional area is designed to teach adaptive and safety techniques to be able to do routine maintenance around the house or learn a new hobby like leatherworking, woodworking, or other handicrafts. The manual skills instructors can help you build or make anything, and they'll show you how to do it in spite of your vision challenges. I've never come up with a project where they said they couldn't help me make it. I've personally made some really nice art for my mom and my wife. I've seen people make a lot of leather products and even fishing rods. The last thing I made, and there was a wooden towel cabinet for my bathroom. They can also teach you how to make pottery. Taking this class will allow you to create something with your hands that you can take home with you. I can't forget to mention the nurses who work in Blind Rehab who are there to take care of you. Blind Rehab veterans receive round-the-clock nursing care, and every one of the nurses will make you feel like you're part of their family. Every day, they'll check your vitals and make sure that you have all of your medication and that it is correctly taken. They take such good care of you. Of course, none of this would work as well without great leadership at the top. I'm talking about the chief of the Blind Rehab service, and the supervisor. They're both there on site every day and will know you by name. Both of them have an open door policy and have always made me feel like I could discuss anything with them. I just wanted to give encouragement to anyone who's thinking about applying for acceptance into Blind Rehab, or who has already been admitted. I hope my words will help you be better prepared for the program. I wish that I had something like this to listen to before attending the program, and that's the reason I wanted to share these words with you. In closing, I'd like to leave you with some key takeaways. The Waco VA Blind Rehabilitation Center offers a comprehensive and supportive environment for blind and visually impaired veterans to regain independence and confidence. Blind Rehab's a personalized program. Instructors tailor the program to your needs and goals. Blind Rehab will help you regain your independence. Just remember to focus on small accomplishments to build your confidence. Blind Rehab offers a variety of instructional areas such as orientation and mobility, or O&M, which will teach you skills to travel safely and confidently. Assistive Technology, or AT, assists visually impaired veterans to access information independently using technology. Visual Skills teaches veterans to maximize remaining vision or use non-visual methods to access their environment. Living Skills Training empowers veterans with visual impairments to manage daily tasks and maintain independence. Recreation Therapy promotes physical and emotional well-being, socialization, and leisure engagement for veterans with visual impairments. Manual Skills teaches veterans with visual impairments adaptive techniques for hands-on activities, promoting independence, creativity, and self-sufficiency. Blind Rehab has a supportive staff, including the instructors, nurses, the chief and the supervisor, and other VA services such as social work, prosthetics, food service, and they all work together to make your stay a pleasant experience. Remember my words of advice. Just make it your program. Advocate for yourself and set personal goals. Take baby steps. Learning's a process. Don't be afraid to try new things. Focus on progress, no matter how small. Learn to use assistive technology to expand your bubble of independence. And, my final piece of advice. Keep an open mind. Blind Rehab was a life-changing event for me. I'm sure it will be for you too.
And finally, this is Chuck Smith again. I just wanted to say I hope to see you all at the Waco Blind Rehab.
Of the sky, but I feel the wind as it rushes by. The world is a painting in shades of sound. I touch the earth and I feel profound. In the dark I find my light. With every step my heart takes flight. Through my eyes I see what's real. The love, the hope, the things I feel. No need for sight to understand the beauty of this life's grand plan. Through my eyes I'm free to roam. Everywhere I go I'm home. The whispers of the rain call my name. I don't need to watch the flame to feel its flame. Every voice a thread in the fabric I weave. In my world I've learned how to believe. In the dark I find my way. Through the night and into day. Through my eyes I see what's real. The love, the hope, the things I feel. No need for sight to understand the beauty of this life's grand plan. Through my eyes I'm free to roam. Everywhere I go I'm home. The stars are stories I can't trace, but I find a warmth in a love's embrace. I feel the rhythm, I hear the tune. I live by the light of the silent moon. Through my eyes, I see what's real. The love, the hope, the things I feel. No need for sight to understand the beauty of this life's grand land. Through my eyes, I'm free to roam. Everywhere I go, I'm home. I don't need the light to shine. The world is clearer through my mind. Through my eyes, I've come to see the greatest gift is just to be.